Hello and welcome to my next Let's Play, which, if you saw the first part, which I wouldn't really call a part, is going to be a Let's Play of Monsters Inc. Scare Island for the PlayStation 2. Now, everyone has pretty much done a Let's Play of Monsters Inc. Scare Island for the PlayStation 1, but no one I've seen has actually completed a Let's Play for the PS2 version of this game, and that is what I shall be endeavoring to do today. So we're about to start the first part of gameplay, which will be the orientation level, and I think I'll just pick Sully. He is the monster. I'll pick Sully for this part. So yes, a bit of backstory on this game before we begin is that it was released to coincide with Monsters Inc., which was the movie that was released in 2002, which was 12 years ago. I cannot believe that. And they released this game on the PlayStation 1, PC, and PlayStation 2. So yeah, this game is a bit early on in the PlayStation 2's life cycle. PlayStation 2 really, I guess, started to take off in like 2003, 2004. At this point, they were still making games for the PlayStation 1, so that's why this game looks a bit low rent for a PlayStation 2 game, because I think it basically is a port of a PlayStation 1 game. And yeah. Anyway, so this is the first level, which is called Orientation, and it's this basic obstacle course where all you have to do is just make a bunch of jumps and do a bunch of simple objectives that you will find very cumbersome, which I am doing right now. This is probably the most boring part of the game, but at least it gives me plenty of time to talk about the cutscene, the opening cutscene, which, as you can tell, is basically means this game is a prequel to Monsters Inc., the movie which came out in 2002, obviously. And I guess you could say it's a sequel to Monsters Inc. or Monsters University, but clearly I honestly do not think that when they made this game that they had any idea that there would be another Monsters Inc. Movie. And I guess it just happened that there was a movie called Monsters University, which takes place while they're at university. I suppose this game is supposed to be set after they've graduated from university, because in the opening cutscene they do mention something about a dorm fire or some like kind of mess that happened in a dorm on their first day of college. So I guess, you know, maybe there was a bit of retconning going on here in my own mind or something, but it's kind of interesting to think that if you want to talk Monsters Inc. canon, that this happens in between Monsters University and Monsters Inc., which I'm very happy to do. I suppose I should start talking about the game. It's obviously a third-person platformer type of game. Not many first-person platformers. You play as both Mike and Sully. You can choose to play as whichever character you want before you actually start playing the level. You can't actually change during gameplay, so I'm stuck as playing as Sully for the opening little bit here. He's got the body slam, which is his like unique move. Mike has a unique move as well, which is like a butt bounce kind of thing. They both do exactly the same thing. There's really not too much difference between Mike and Sully, actually. They both do pretty much the same thing. There's nothing one monster would be useful for that the other one isn't. I think Mike may be a bit faster, but that's probably about it. And these things here.
This is primordial.
Yes, primordial ooze, which you basically use to fill up that meter, which is on the side of the screen there. You can see it's like slowly beginning to rise. Once you fill that meter up, that's when you can actually use it to scare these like robotic children, which you'll see, I think, in the next room. You can see there's like a color scheme going on there, so it's like blue, green, yellow, red, and depending on what color these nerves are, that's what the name of these like robotic children. Depending on what color they are, correlates to the color you have on your little scare meter here. And if you have the right color amount of ooze, you can start scaring them, which is this little mini game here. Successfully scare them, and they die. And you'll have to do this in every level in the game, basically. That like annoying voice coming out of the mailboxes there is Roz. You know, that squid, not squid, slug creature from Monsters Inc. Also Monsters Inc. On Monsters University in a brief cameo.
You're doing really well. Collecting primordial ooze is an important part of scaring because it raises the level of your fright meter. As you can see, the fright meter is divided into 5
Yeah,
sections.
okay, I thought that might have been important, but that's pretty much explaining what I previously said. As you can see, it's green now, so I can scare this green nerve, which I shall be doing. There is a bit of lag on this game, but that's to be expected considering I'm running it on my computer and not actually on a PlayStation 2. It'll probably looks better actually running it on a emulator, but it's not too bad. I mean, it's dealable with. I mean, I'm really the one who has to deal with it. You don't have to deal with it. Okay, so this room is a bit like an actual level, actually. This is kind of similar. You got basically in every level you'll have a bunch of these primordial ooze bottles or canisters, whatever you want to call them, lying around. You collect them and you scare nerves. Basically, once you scare all the nerves in the level, you've pretty much completed the level. But in order to do that, you need to maybe backtrack in some levels. So okay, it's orange now, which means I can scare the orange nerve. And if you haven't guessed already, this game is very inspired by the Ape Escape series with all this collecting or defeating, I suppose, like enemies in a level, and once you defeat a certain amount of them, or scare a certain amount of them, or catch a certain amount of them, you complete the level. Very similar to Ape Escape, and also backtracking wise, very similar to Ape Escape as well, because you have to backtrack in Ape Escape. Well, unfortunately, Ape Escape does not have this amazing minigame here, which is like a button masher. You mash the buttons in the correct order, and then you can do like a super scare thing, which is pretty much random. Like, I'm not deciding on what the super scare thingy is. It's just selected at random, and it's pretty much impossible to screw this up unless you're like an idiot. Because even the higher color the nerve, the more it takes to do the scare thing on them. But all you have to do is just mash a button, and it doesn't really get any more difficult than that. My one complaint is that this game is quite short and quite easy, and that may be my only complaint, I don't know. Another thing you have to do in every level, is this the right way? I don't think there's any camera control in this game, or maybe there is. Oh yeah, there's a bit of camera control. Another thing, you collect a bunch of these M tokens,
To get the silver.
which look different to the PS1 version, I'll tell you that now. That's another thing that I'll be talking about a lot in this Let's Play, and I'll probably get some guest commentators in to talk about it with me, is that there's a lot of graphical differences between this and the PS1 version. The games practically play the same, but there are a lot of graphical differences, mostly consisting of the different colored coins, and the fact that Mike and Sully are way more detailed in the PS2 version. If you look at the PS1 version, they're very, very undetailed. I think all the medals are very different as well. Because basically, if you defeat, I think all nerves except the red nerve, or 6 nerves or something, you'll get the bronze medal, get all the M tokens in the level, and then you get the silver medal, and I think you have to defeat all the nerves, and then you get the gold medal. And you mostly have to backtrack to get a few nerves, like to get the gold medals, but I think you can pretty much get the silver medal and the bronze medal all in the first playthrough of most levels. Actually, I think there are some levels you can just get everything in them in. But right now we're collecting these primordial ooze canisters. Square is to do that little attack there. This game isn't really much of a combat game, so it doesn't really play that much importance. Green canisters are the basic ones, red are the more powerful ones, I guess, or they fill the meter up more quickly. I think they equal like 5 green ones. And you can double jump, which was all the rage in the early 2000s. Now, let's start to scare this guy. Circle, as you can see there. Square. Circle. The red guys take the longest, obviously, because you need the most primordial ooze to actually be able to scare these guys. Otherwise, if you don't have red primordial ooze all the way to the top, then you won't even be able to scare them. You won't even be able to do the minigame thing. Okay, time to scare the last one. Square. Triangle, yeah. This is a very mundane tutorial, but at least it gives you a bit of a breather and a bit of a chance to learn the ropes, essentially, and I don't think you can skip it, so, at least, it's a good setup. The game has a very simple learning curve, and there's another guy in here, that's right. So yeah, this is a very, it holds your hand quite, a lot, actually. It's, obviously it's a child's game, because the movie was a children's movie. Another thing to mention is I'm pretty sure that's not John Goodman, and I'm pretty sure Billy Crystal does not do the voice of Mike either. I'm pretty sure they just sound alikes, imitators. I'm pretty sure that animation is not in the PS1 version, the animation with the torch there.
Coming through!
And that is the gold medal, which means that this level is complete.
Congratulations, we're all really impressed. You've completed the monster orientation. One last thing. Scattered throughout Scare Island,
Okay,
you will
that's not
find
important. Okay, now time to exit the level, which would be which way? I'm going to assume this way. Yeah, there we go. Oh, come on. Okay, do we really need that much tutorial? Can they just leave something up to the player to figure out for themselves? I guess not. Anyway, I believe there is another cutscene coming up. No, movie cutscene. Gotta skip those, I don't want to get copyright infringement.
Gentlemen. Now, in order to hone your skills so that you can become top scare producers, we're going to make things a bit more challenging.
Oh, well, at least we made it this far. Hey!
Your first destination is Urban Field. Not to worry now, just follow that path there, and you'll be fine. Remember, at Monsters Incorporated, we recognize that our strongest assets are you, our employees.
Wow. The expression on Sully's face tells the whole story. And this is Scare Island. The loading screens are actually exactly the same on the PS1 version. Just thought I'd point that out. And here we are in the office, the main office, which I guess Mike's girlfriend is not employed there yet. You can come here and watch clips you've unlocked. You just unlock clips by playing the game. And this is where Scare Island is, which is the basic name of this game, Monsters Inc. Scare Island. And there's no music on Scare Island, apparently. So yes, in the next part, we'll be starting off the first level of the game, which is the city park. To enter the level, you go up to this thing here, and it will be City Park in the next part. So thanks for watching, and I shall see you all then. Farewell for now, but not forever. Goodbye.